Welcome to Taking the RAMS by the Horns, a podcast that takes current affairs out of current affairs. This is an award-winning podcast in partnership with Sowetan Live. I'm your host, RAMS Mabote. So, Joburg, brace yourself for something exciting. Between the 9th and the 28th of September, at the Joburg Theatre, the adaptation of a book I love a lot called Dancing the Death Trail by Fred Khumalo will be on stage, adapted into a stage production by James Ngobo and Palesama Zamisa. Now, James Ngobo, if you don't know James Ngobo, shame on you, actually. Shame on you. You gotta know him, right? I had to Google Palesama's Confess. Didn't know her, but James, I know. But I thought I should speak to the guy who wrote this book. Because, there are a lot of things to talk about, including the production. But if you don't know this book, I think by the end of this conversation, you will know a bit about it, and I hope you go get this book, because this is one of the most beautifully written books of this author, by the way, who's written 19 books already in his life, and he remains as poor as I am, which is a very sad doom.
Rams, don't tell people about my bank balance.
People who write books by South Africa, I don't know why they do that.
We belong to some mental asylum, really. We do it for the love of it. Yeah.
I think some love is even more rewarding, like loving the MK party could be more rewarding than loving books. But you got to talk to me about, and we'll get to the book, but about the approach. Who came to you and said, this can go on stage? Let's talk about this process, because putting these things on stage or on film is difficult. It's a tome of work. And to put it on a 1 hour, 30-minute production is hard.
Yeah.
So what did they say to you? What did they see in this book?
No, James, I've known James for many, many years, more than 20 years. Yeah. But more specifically, in 2007, we collaborated on an adaptation of my very first book, Touch My Blood. Yeah. So at that time, James was artistic director at the Market Theatre.
Yes.
So he read the book, loved it. I took it to the stage, and I was not as involved as I would be in this one.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's how far back we go with James and I.
Yes.
So this time around, the book came out in 2017.
2017?
Yeah. And then he approached me, I think last year or 2 years ago, I can't remember. Anyway, he says, I've been struggling to say we want to put this book on stage, but I can see how expensive it could be.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking, and it seems like we've got some kind of funding that can afford us the opportunity to put this on stage. And then we spoke about it. I was very excited, obviously. Because now he's at Joburg Theatre, which is a bigger theatre, and so on. So that's the genesis of this stage adaptation. So we just threw ideas around, because off air, Rams and I were talking about the difficulty of adapting a book of this length into cramming everything into 2 hours. It's very challenging.
Yes.
So we have to be very, very thoughtful as to how you do it.
Yes.
So that's what happened. So James and I started talking about the story. It's a long process.
And there are, of course, the stories about the SS Mendy, right? 1917, World War I. But there are many stories here. Because at adaptation, you need to think more about what do we not include. It's not even about what we include.
Exactly.
What do we cut out?
Yeah. So the sinking of the SS Mendy in 1917, taking the lives of more than 600 black soldiers, is the backdrop to the story. It's not the story.
It's not their story.
Yeah. So the story basically is, from my perspective, and some readers might share that perspective, the story is it's a love story between Pitso and a French woman.
A French woman. Yeah.
So the war story forms a very dramatic backdrop.
Yes.
So it's Pitso's journey specifically, and the love story, the romance that unfolds in Paris.
Yeah, and there was a prelude to the romance, because he started at school being a very interesting young man in Bloemfontein.
Yes, very adventurous.
Exactly, right? He was always adventurous, and he does amazing things. But then, why, by the way, again, something that fascinates me about this book is that it is fiction based on fact. Right? It's based on historical stuff. The SS Mendi happened, more than 600 people died. But how do you get to the point that there's a story to be written here, straddling both parts? Fiction, creating this fellow, this amazing, adventurous young man who ends up in Paris at his older age, and of course, telling the story of the SS Mendi, because that's a very important historical fact.
Yeah, the story of the SS Mendi, to many Black South Africans, has always been there through the oral tradition.
Yes.
So as a kid in higher primary school, I remember there was a choral song about the SS Mendi.
Yes.
That we used to sing. But to us, it was part mythology. Yeah. Until I went to France on a totally unrelated mission. I went there in my capacity as a journalist. We were guests of the Foreign Affairs Ministry in that country. And during our spare time, the guy who was driving us around, our chaperone, a local guy, Thierry, said, "Okay, guys, I want to show you around. If you're bored of Paris now, let's go to the coast."
Yeah.
So the following day, we got on a train all the way to the coast, and we got off at a town called Dieppe. It's right on the coast. You can see the beach there.
Yeah.
But the guy had no intention of taking us to the beach.
Yes.
And then we got into a car, drove away from the beach towards the mountains, bushes and all that. So, Thierry, where are we going to? No, surprises were awaiting you when we get to the destination. And then we got off in the middle of a graveyard. How? Is this how French entertain their guests, taking them to a graveyard? And then we get off and he says, let's go. So we start meandering between the tombstones and so on. And then we start noticing names. Recognizably South African.
Yes.
Vundla,
yes.
Khumalo. And then, okay, who are these people?
Who are these people right here?
And then he says,
This is why I brought you here.
This is why I brought you here. There were three of us. It was myself, John Pattersby, and the late Chris Moore.
Yes.
And so he says, "Are you guys familiar with the story of the sinking of the SS Mendi?" So I said, "Yeah, I am." Chris was also familiar. John wasn't.
Yeah.
And then the story basically, these guys, black guys, went to serve on the Western Front during the First World War. In total, South Africa sent 25,000 black men over there. 25,000.
25,000.
Yes. So the guys on the SS Mendi were just one battalion.
Yes.
Out of many battalions. Because the first battalions started leaving the country in 1916.
Yes.
The SS Mendi left in February 1917. And then it had an accident.
What was their role in this war? Because the stories we hear about us and the war are different. What was the role of these guys?
Yeah, that's the tragic part of it. Initially, the war started in 1914.
Yeah.
By 1916, stalemate. No one is winning.
Yeah.
And Britain starts very desperately looking for men from
the colonies.
In the colonies, yes. Yeah. We need more men. So they got as many white men as possible.
Yeah.
But still...
But the majority of the colonies were black.
Yes.
Yeah.
So ultimately, a huge debate erupted in Parliament. Because somebody said, no, let's send black men over there. And then the other white people said, no.
Because you're going to have to arm them,
yes.
right?
we send these natives over there. They land. It's easy to kill a white person. They come back here. No. And then a debate, and somebody said, no, let's send them over there to provide logistics. So they are going to chop wood, cook, construct shelters, and very, very strategically offload ammunitions from the ships all the way to the mountain where the theater of war
was happening.
Yeah. So that was very strategic. Remember, this is 1914, 1916. Technology is still very, very behind, and there's no proper transportation. So they have got oxen pulling these huge carts and so on. So that's where black people featured in the whole chain. So they went there to serve, cook for white soldiers, but they changed their arrival changed the trajectory of the war immediately. Because now
in what sense?
Because now the soldiers, the white soldiers who would have been busy offloading, now had to concentrate on fighting.
Yes.
Yeah. So these natives, back then we were called natives. These natives are there, and they are offering the logistical support that was very necessary. And within a year, the Allies won the war.
Yeah,
Britain.
So we brought in the numbers.
Yes, we brought in the numbers, and but the funny thing which gets mentioned in the book and in the stage production is the Germans, the enemy, didn't discriminate. They see. Yeah,
they see the enemy.
Yeah,
you're the enemy. And, well, I mean, the Germans were not the most non-racial people generally anyway, right?
Exactly.
So they would have shot the darkies, right?
Exactly.
But then let's take it to our guy.
Yeah.
And let's get to where it all begins before he gets onto this ill-fated voyage.
Yes.
He is a student. He's a schoolboy.
Yes.
That's the word, right? And because students would have been at that time a university guy.
Yes.
He's a pupil. He's a schoolboy.
Yes.
Talk about this fellow a bit.
So Pitso is a product of a multiracial relationship.
He's a product of Immorality Act.
Yeah, immorality, miscegenation. Eh?
Yes,
that's the word. Nah? Yeah, that's the word. Yeah. So his father was an Afrikaner, De La Rey. I deliberately chose that word.
You would have chosen that word.
It's a very evocative surname. Yeah. He's out there in the Free State during the Anglo-Boer War.
Yes.
And then he decides, no, fighting is not for me. So he deserts. He runs away, finds shelter with a small Basotho community along the Caledon River. And he settles there. They embrace him. And
of course, he's a young man. You know?
So and then he seriously fell in love. It wasn't an exploitative thing.
Yes,
it was a real relationship.
It may have started flirtatiously, but it ends up as a proper relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she falls pregnant, and Pitso is born.
Yeah.
So Pitso is mixed race, for to use the terminology of that time. So he grows up, but now that the Anglo-Boer War is over, Cornelius De La Rey wants to go back home. And initially he took the new bride with, and his family said, no, we are not
here.
Have a native.
Not Lana. Yeah.
So that's how he had to end, because Afrikaner men are very obedient, especially to their mothers. Yeah. So Cornelius had to break the relationship with Matsidi, so the lady.
Yeah.
And that's how things turned out, that Pitso grows up without a father, and he detests Afrikaner people in particular, and white people in general. Because, he feels they're exploitative. So he grows up with this anger. And then when there's a huge recruitment drive for people to go and fight in Europe, he wants to.
In his head, he's fighting white people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's avenging himself.
Yes. So he sees an outlet for his anger.
Yes.
So that's how he gets to enlist.
He ends up in this ship with a lot of other young men. Right?
Oh, yeah, because it was a nationwide recruitment
Exactly.
drive.
He gets to meet people that he would not have met in his lifetime.
Exactly.
Right?
And remember, he's colored.
Yes.
And so he encounters Zulu people.
Yeah.
Mambondo.
Which is where they were dancing the death. I must be fellas, other sides of this.
Yeah. So and then his flight from Bloemfontein to Cape Town, where they travel from, on a ship, it becomes a metaphorical journey for him as well.
Yeah.
Physically and metaphorically.
Yeah.
He's leaving behind his other self.
Yes.
Yeah. And
he's becoming a new guy now.
Yeah. Exactly.
New world.
Yeah. So and then the ship, I mean, back then, it used to take them a full month to travel from South Africa to Britain. So in a month on a ship, you're confined in the space. You form relationships, but you also fight.
Yes.
Because, you come from different cultures, and you don't speak each other's languages.
Yeah.
Unlike these days, we are more open
Exactly.
to other cultures, and because there's television, we learn other people's languages through television. Back
In
then-
those days, if you're a guy from Engutu, it's the first time you're hearing any other African language, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has always been Zulu to you.
Yes, exactly. So now you encounter people speaking this language called isiSotho.
Yeah.
And then you are trying to listen to
And
understand.
it gets worse that Lomsutu Lona Umpof, man. What's wrong with this guy?
Yeah. No. Oh, he cannot work.
Exactly. Yes.
No, Funanland, yeah, so yeah. And then these fights do take place. Yeah. But over time, friendships are supersede the initial fights that they had. So by the time they get to France, Pitso and Ngavini is a Zulu guy.
Yes.
Mkulugut. They are friends by the time they get.
Yes. But the hardships also form the solidarity, isn't it?
Yes,
because they've been treated like animals in this thing, and they start realizing we are actually on the same side.
Yes,
These guys are exploiting us, right?
Exactly. So they form these bonds against their white officers. Yeah. So that's how. Well, I decided to make Upitso in the first place a mixed race person.
Yeah.
To use that as a what do you call it? A springboard.
Yeah.
From which I launched a debate around race.
Yeah.
And identity.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what happened.
Do you think Gaten McKenzie is aware of that?
Our ebullient minister.
Oh man! Oh my guy. So we spoke before we came on air, and I said to you, one of my biggest turn-offs about productions, whether they're books or theater or film, is that people get lazy about the end, right? So normally it ends with death, because then you can close it there.
Mm-hmm.
And you could have chosen to sink the SS Mendy, and that's the end of the story. But you didn't do that. In fact, for me, the story almost begins there. The most amazing part of the story begins at Pitso not going under with this thing that kills 600 people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
He is one of the survivors.
Yeah.
Because in real life, there were some survivors.
Yes.
Yeah. So Pitso, who's a totally fictional character.
Yeah.
He's not based on any
Yes.
character
Who survived.
Who survived. Yeah. So I thought, okay, what happens to these guys when they get to France?
Yeah.
Let's explore that.
Yes.
And then, of course, in real life, there was a mutiny. Remember, these guys are not armed.
Yeah.
But now the Germans are attacking them. And then they start fighting against their white officers.
Yes.
Well, not just Funibam.
Exactly.
We can defend ourselves. Yeah. And then the mutiny happened. So I used that historical fact to make Upitso one of the not a deserter, man, mutineers.
Yes.
Yeah. So during the mutiny, he runs away.
Yes.
He leaves camp, and because of his complexion.
Yeah. But I suppose then you're not necessarily wrong about deserting, because it was a mutiny, but he also deserted.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The problem is the word desertion is loaded with cowardice.
Cowardice, yeah. And he was anything but a coward. Not Pitso, not Pitso.
Yeah. So and then he has deserted. He's in France, and the war ended in 1918, and the survivors came back home. He did not. Yeah. He stayed in France.
Yeah.
Assumed a new identity. It becomes Jean-Jacques. By this time he can speak. He's very fluent in French.
Yeah.
So he changes into a new persona, and he gets the right papers, forged papers.
Yeah.
That claim that he was born in Algeria, which was a French colony.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is Pitso. So yeah. Without
giving away much.
Yeah.
Right.
But Pitso stays in France until the 1950s. Yeah.
But that was not the end of his woes, because then somebody gets to it like, but I know this native.
Yes, of course.
This guy looks familiar, right?
Yes.
But Pitso defends himself. I like this fellow. This fellow is not a lame guy.
Yeah. And he interacts with a South African artist who is there, Jerry Mluto.
Yes.
He's there in France, and And Uteri Mloto is actually based on a real life artist who was from here.
Yeah.
You can take a guess.
We all know who it is, right? We all know who it is.
Yeah. Gerard Sokoto.
Exactly, Gerard Sokoto.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they would have called him Gerard.
Yeah, of course.
Gerard Sokoto. I'm afraid, yes.
Yeah. Gerard Sokoto.
Yeah.
Who was a musician and a painter.
Yes.
So they become friends.
So let's come back to why we're here. This is going to the Mandela stage.
Mm-hmm.
This is happening on stage. It's been adapted now. The next difficult part becomes finding the right characters, right? Now it becomes really putting people on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Rams has read this book. He's got Pitso in his head. He looks like whoever, and like, how then do we get to this point of saying who are going to be the people who play, especially the main characters?
Oh, yeah. Okay, that wasn't my primary job.
But I'm sure they would have come to you.
Oh, yeah.
It's still your book.
Yeah.
And I suspect James has more respect. He wouldn't just do it without talking to you.
Yeah. He was very gracious because in other instances, they approach you as a writer. Oh, we would like to adopt your book into a stage play or a movie.
Yeah.
They pay you your money and
that's it.
Yeah. But this time, James said, no, he wants to involve me. And I was very honored.
Yeah.
To the point of when he was making a list of the cast of characters, he would show me pictures. How do you feel about this guy?
Yes.
Being Pitso. And then we went through different names. Ultimately, we got to Clint Brink. I said, oh, yeah, this is the man. This is the man for the job.
I will confess, when I heard this is coming, I was like, I want to know who's going to become Pitso. I kept on agonizing. And when I saw Clint, I said, that's it. That's the man. He fits the character to me. Right? And then his friend who gets the...
Tlali.
Yes.
Did I? No, I was not involved in choosing that one. So it was James and Palisa.
Yes.
And then... Pitso's mother.
Yeah,
I was involved.
Yes.
So they showed me some names and faces because I created these characters, and so they showed me a list, and then Tuli Tabete became Matsidi's Pitso's mother, and other characters.
Yeah.
Ugwenzongobo, Mavini, and so on and so on.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a very big cast, as you know, 30 people.
Well, it has to be because, I mean, there are about 600 characters in the book. So.
and what has just uplifted my spirit immensely, the music.
Yes.
This is Msaki.
Yes, I was going to get to that, right? Yeah. Because, again, not only... because it's a South African thing we sing, right? I mean, it's captured so much in the book throughout. These guys going through hardship, but they sing, they dance, that's what we do. But I suppose when I wear the volume Zulu, so so I thought to myself, how are they going to capture the music? And I kept on thinking, they're going to just leave it as, we have to imagine. So Msaki comes in.
And James tells me Msaki has agreed to do this.
Yes.
I got excited. I mean, Msaki is a big name.
Yeah. But also bloody good.
Yes. And I've been attending Ama rehearsals, what she does there. She composes a song just like that. And she's got a pianist and a violin player and 4 voices. And then she starts writing the song and composing. She is just dynamic. So what they've done, in as much as they take the musical spirit from the book, they are conscious of the fact that the play is being staged in 2025.
So they have to be contemporary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's that modern sensitivity to the music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So okay, this is a very unfair question I'm about to ask you, and I confess upfront that I think it's a very unfair question. I know it's reported that the SS Mendi collided with the Taro, right?
Yes,
it was a male ship.
Yes.
I mean, I kept on thinking, I think the black people could not swim. And that's what happened.
It's a combination of many things. Remember, this is February.
Yeah.
February, this is winter over there.
Exactly, it's cold.
It's cold.
Yeah.
It's ferociously cold.
Yes.
So they are crossing the English Channel.
Yes.
On their they're about to reach their final destination. That's when it happens.
Yes.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning. It's
you know,
it's misty and cold.
There's no technology also to see what else is coming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they just use lanterns.
Yes.
Yeah.
Could it be that?
And there was. What do you call them? Lifeboats.
Yes.
There are not enough lifeboats on board.
On board, yeah.
So yeah, there was a shortage of lifeboats and other safety things.
Yes.
Safety measures were not prioritized.
Yeah.
So some people died of exposure because it was cold. Others drowned.
Yeah.
Because there were not enough lifeboats. And of course, as you know, brothers can't swim.
Yeah, and also as we know, Umlungu started the first lifeboat.
Exactly.
Oh, brothers, like, I mean, I saw them dancing and singing, dying. Like, you know, there's like it was a sad picture, but they still sang.
Yes,
they still sang.
They
right?
sang. So central to that scene, the singing, is a real life person. He was Reverend Joburg from the Eastern Cape, one of the most educated people on board.
Yes.
Yeah. So he was the chaplain. On board. So he led the singing and the dancing.
By the way, you know, we're speaking about this thing because it's coming on stage, but let's not belittle the amazement of this book, right? It's the second adaptation. And the book has also been adapted into a German book. Is a German.
It's been translated into German, Setswana, and isiZulu.
Wow.
Yes. So the idea is to get it translated into all local languages.
Yes.
Yeah. So it shall be 2 books a year.
Masokola mfethu ukufunda le isilungu so ifunda kanjani le isiZulu.
No, abantu bathi no, hey, isilungu sibuye sihluphe sicela ufunda ngama languages ethu. So we have to.
I'm dying to know how our fellow authors who write in African languages are doing. I don't know, you know. And then Afrikaans writers are doing very well.
Yeah. You go to any exclusive books, you'll see English and Afrikaans books.
Yeah.
No, lutho. Yeah.
I think we told people what's in the book, right?
Yes.
But
the story, we know.
Somebody watching us now and within a reaching distance of the Joburg Theatre,
yes,
why should they go and watch this adaptation on stage? And I would have loved to ask that question of James, but you know, it's thick rehearsal time now. We can't touch him, right?
Yes,
so I'm going to have to ask you.
Yeah, James has been reminding me, Ndungwa, this adaptation is for those people who haven't read the book yet.
And hopefully once they've done that, they'll come back to the book.
Want to,
Please, guys, can I read the book?
It's a very important, one of those hidden pockets of our history, very important.
Yeah.
But it's good entertainment, let's be honest.
Exactly.
It's good entertainment, storyline is beautiful, the music is outstanding.
Yeah.
And so it's a nice package. And it will inspire, I hope it will inspire people, those who haven't read the book, to look out for the book, to say, okay, how does it compare to, how do they complement each other?
Yeah.
Because we can't compare. You
can't.
These are two
completely.
disciplines.
You cannot compare. As I said, the stage is going to be 1.5 if you stretch it 2 hours of work, right?
Exactly.
To put this into that kind of stuff. But again, that's the beauty of what people like O. James do, right? That they can take this and turn it into a 2-hour production and I still get everything I wanted to get.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. And then when I go to the book, I'm more like now I'm trying to find more lines within the story, that I could not find on stage. And finally, Mtungwa, what else are you doing to impoverish yourself and your family? I mean, what are you writing now? What's happening?
I'm writing 2 books at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, these ones are commissioned books.
Yeah.
Should I mention their names?
Maybe not, but you can mention whatever you want to mention.
One is no, I might as well mention one of them. One is Jeff Khadebe. approached me to write his life story.
Okay, now I understand why you're traveling with him all over. Okay.
Yeah, I was with him in Atlanta.
Yes.
The other a month ago. Yeah. So he commissioned me to tell his life story.
Yeah.
And he's a very interesting character. So that's one book I'm
Okay.
right to say that's commissioned. And another one. Okay, I shall not mention his name, but he's a businessman.
Yes.
Into mining.
Yeah.
He commissioned me to tell his life story as well. Yeah.
Those are easier for us as authors because somebody's going to pay you for them.
No.
If you write this and put it on the shelves, you're going to be poor.
So, Lena, you write it. You don't know if the publishers are going to like it.
Yeah.
Like it enough to publish it.
Yeah.
And how much money you're going to make from it.
Yeah.
You don't know. The commissioned ones, okay, you tell this guy, hey, mfethu, khatebe, ngizokuthatha kanjena.
Akhale
mhlambe angakhali. Then at least before you start writing, usubhadaliwe. Yeah.
Yes.
That helps. Yeah, it helps. Hey, I'm an artist.
It's tough, right? It's tough. But congratulations, Fred. You know, I have never stopped telling you how I loved your work, but I love this book more than all of your work.
Thank you.
Except the opening line of Bitches Brew.
Everyone is in love with the first page of that book.
Never read it. Like, oh. But
yeah.
Excellent. I'm going to make you this promise and commitment. I will buy my tickets and go to the Joburg Theatre and watch the production, right?
Thank you.
Because again, I know we as producers of work can't be subsidizing those who must consume our work.
You know,
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, these hardworking actors and musicians who are in this production need to be paid.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
Before, one day somebody comes to make statements of condolences, because that's what politicians do. They never support them and wait for them to pass on.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Dancing the Death Thrill. For the first time, guys, I'm not going to tell you to go and read The Sweetest Taboo. You must read Dancing the Death Thrill by Fred Khumalo. It's an amazing book. But if you're in Joburg or Pretoria or the Vaal, 9 to 28 September, Nelson Mandela Theatre at the Joburg Theatre, it's on stage. And I promise you, if I know what James has done before, can't go wrong. From me, RAMS Mabote, goodbye and God bless.